Hey folks, I'm Irene Williams. I'm here on behalf of Coverings. Coverings is the largest trade show for the tile and stone industry in North America, and throughout the show I'm going to be interviewing some personalities from the industry. And today we're starting with Heidi Martin. Heidi is president of United Tile Distributors based in Seattle, and she is a longtime industry pro, so we wanted to get her perspectives on everything happening in the world of tile and stone. Maybe not everything, it's a short interview. So first of all, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So how many years have you been coming to Coverings?
You know, I was trying to think about that. I'm guessing it's been about 18 years, somewhere between 15 and 20 for sure, but I think it's probably close to about 18, 20 years off and on. I've missed a couple years here and there, but hit most of those.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what keeps you coming back to Coverings?
Oh, this is definitely the show to be at for especially for the domestic offerings. It's a combination of having the opportunity to see the new products as they're coming out. Most of the manufacturers are launching new things, so getting to be the first to see new, innovative, and interesting products. Seeing a lot of the manufacturers and just maintaining those relationships, and seeing friends and other distributors from around the country and networking with them and kind of getting input from some of them as far as product selections is always helpful too. So getting to do that all in one space is kind of ideal.
Yeah, so it's worth the long flight.
It's worth the long flight from Seattle, yeah.
Okay, so you're the first interview of the show.
Okay.
It's early in the game, first day, a few hours in, but do you have any insights on a couple or three trends that you would recommend that we seek out here on the show floor?
You know, I'm curious to see what they'll be. I've only gone to a few booths so far today. The last few shows, the last couple of years, I feel like we've seen a lot of kind of the same thing. A lot of wood looks, a lot of marble looks, a lot of concrete looks. I'm hoping that we've moved a little bit past that at this show. I think our market is pretty saturated with those. I know that there are all still looks that are doing really well, and so I understand why they're still being produced. But I'm ready to be wowed by something new and different, personally. Mm-hmm. I think we're going to see a lot of large format, and I think that trend is starting over in Europe and kind of led by Italy, and it's making its way to the U.S. as well. Mm-hmm. I think the U.S. market is going to be a little slower to catch on to some of the sizes, but it's coming. So we're going to have to figure out how to do it, right. And then the slabs that a lot of the companies are now producing as well. I think that's going to be. We're getting a lot of interest in that from design perspective, cool. And so I think that we will continue to see more of that. Mm-hmm. So your market is starting to learn of these new options, and they're like ready for it? They're ready for it. They're excited about it, yeah. And we've done the slabs for quite a few years in terms of the thinner ones, and now they've even got some of the thicker countertop slab options. And those are generating a lot of interest from our design community.
Yeah, it's tile going in different places in different ways. So that's
the durability of it, combined with the aesthetic that they can now produce from some of these things. It's going to be it's going to have an interesting spot in the market, I think. Yeah,
awesome.
We're excited for that opportunity. Yes.
So trends are evolving, but the whole industry is really evolving. You and I have both been in the industry a pretty long while.
Yeah.
And we feel like it's slow to change, and then it kicks into gear.
Yeah.
So I'd love your perspective as the president of a large distributorship with a lot of years behind you in the industry. Where are we now, and where is the industry as a business heading, do you think?
I wish I had a crystal ball to answer that question. I think we've seen a lot of change in the last couple of years. And some of it comes from just the nature of distribution and how some of that has changed, and companies being bought out and merging. And I think that is changing the complexity of it all. I think some of it's product driven, and that's kind of changing how independent distributors have to work with just working harder and being smarter and addressing some of the competitive products that are alternative products out there. But I definitely still think there's a place for wholesale distribution and for independent distribution. I think as far as being connected, knowing your market, having access to the right people and the right products, it's here to stay. And I sure hope it is.
Right. Well, if you don't mind, this is a little bit of a curveball question, but you're a woman and you're a president of a distributorship. I would love for you to just share. I think it's so cool you're in that role.
Thanks.
It's like, yes.
Thanks.
So how do you feel in this position? When did you get the promotion to president?
So I was just announced as president within about the last couple months. I've been with our company for 23 years, so I've been in the industry a long time and held a lot of different positions within our company. I've been connected through a lot of the different organizations and then through the industry. I'm sat on the CTA board for the last few years, and I've had some great opportunities through that. And I do think in some cases, my father was in the industry, and it's how I got involved. And I think because of that, I felt like early on I had to work twice as hard and prove myself twice as much. That I wasn't just coming in as the owner's daughter. And I think that has helped. It's definitely paid off. And now he's been retired for quite a few years, and it's kind of nice to come to these shows. I used to always come here and be, this is Ken's daughter, this is Ken's daughter. I was very rarely introduced as Heidi. And it's nice to now have my own connections and my own people who I look forward to seeing here. And I think I've been given, most of the same opportunities as a woman as I would have either way. And I've appreciated that people have been open to what I had to say and what I had to think. And but it's been exciting. I got a lot of feedback when the announcement was made, particularly from the women in our company, just saying, right on, this is awesome. And that was great. That was fun.
I know colleagues, we were rallying, and we're really happy to see that. So congratulations on that.
You.
Very excited.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is a little different question. We've talked trends, we've talked business. I am super curious to know what she, who has lived and breathed tile for 23 years, chooses for your own home.
Oh, that's probably the hardest. I can design other people's homes all day long. Mine was the most challenging because every week I have a new favorite product, a new favorite tile. But in the end, my style is fairly modern, but kind of with a warmth to it. So we have, I actually have a combination of products. I've got porcelain, I've got natural stone, I have glass. We do, in almost all of the bathrooms and places we have feature walls where we've, instead of doing just a little backglass splash of something, I just have created an entire wall, focal wall. I like sort of a concrete look, but with maybe a warmth of a barn door right next to it or something to then kind of warm it up.
Yeah.
And despite all the different products, there's definitely, I tend to like warmer grays, but there is sort of a continuity to all of it. We sat years trying to figure out how to redo the house when we bought it, and when we finally did, I love how it turned out. It's a fun project, but man, it's hard making choices for yourself.
It is. Just being around this industry, like you said, I know I'm going to love the next thing coming, so I'm preparing to make a move. And then my other tile friends are like, it's not a permanent forever. You can change it in 5 years if you want to, but
so
it's
true.
Still,
it's hard. And it's what we tell our customers, right? It doesn't have to be forever.
Yes, it can be your fashion statement now.
Yeah.
Right.
But they are
Okay, so we have a few more minutes. So I'd love to hear your take on commercial versus residential market. First of all, how does that play out for you specifically at United? And then what do you see in terms of what people want commercially versus residentially?
It's a good question. So for us, it's interesting because when we come to a show like this, we're often looking for products that we might want to bring into stock. But as we think about our stock selections, it needs to be something that we can turn regularly. And the commercial side of it doesn't always lend itself to regular turns. They're bigger projects, and we love them for that. But it's hard to base your stock inventory off of what you think you'll do commercially. So we tend to kind of find products that are more of that can really work for commercial and residential if we can. But at the end of the day, it has to be driven, especially as a distributor. We're still wholesale distribution, and we go through our dealer network, so it has to appeal to that customer. And there definitely are some differences. You know, commercially, I talked about the large formats that we're seeing more of. Commercially, they're ready for that. Residentially, they're not ready for that. So then you have to balance what you have and then what's available outside of that. Fortunately, with the commercial work, there's often longer lead times. So even if we have some of the product and then they can get larger sizes or different colors or some specialty things with that longer lead time, they have the ability to wait. But it is interesting, and before I come to shows like this, I always email all my staff and ask them, what do you guys think we need? Where are our gaps? What are your customers asking for? And I get very different answers from our commercial division as I do our dealer and showroom and residential divisions.
I bet you do.
Then you got to try to bridge that gap when you're making the product selections. So it's a challenge, but we have some, commercially, we represent Crossville, Mosa. We've got some really strong commercial lines that are readily available. They ship every week, so we can fill most of those orders and push those lines and know that we'll be able to fulfill them, even if they're not in our warehouse, which is a great advantage for us.
Yeah.
But even commercially, people are starting to look at more interesting, dimensional tiles and different colors, and it's kind of gone beyond some of the standard things that they, for a long time, the 2x2 and 4 1/4 was the everyday everything.
Yeah.
It's gone way beyond that, and they're doing some really interesting things where, particularly in hospitality and different things where they're letting the tile be the showcase in some of this design, which is, I think, really fun for the commercial reps to get to have access to more interesting design elements.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What about your installer community? Obviously, you're talking about a lot of the slab products. We have so many different kinds of large format tiles that folks are dealing with. So, like education for installation community, is that on your radar?
Very much so. So for the first few years that we were promoting the thin slabs, there was some resistance from the install community. So we got to a point where we were like, we have to train them. I mean, we can't sell a product that is then getting pushed back on the back end of it. So we have put a lot of effort into training. And now there's enough of it out there that it's less resistant. There still is some nervousness just because it's such large pieces that if you break one, you've broken a lot more square footage than you would with just a small tile. And I understand that. But we do a lot of in-house training. We have something set up so that at any time if someone has a project, we can bring them in and do an individual training. And then we do a lot of group sessions and outside seminars and that kind of thing itself. We try to bring in experts in installation, and when the job requires it, we'll even send people back to the factories to get the hands-on installation, so that they're very confident in working with the material.
And the design community, has there been a learning curve for them too? I mean, I know they get excited about new things, but then in practical application, sometimes perhaps hesitancy if it's something very novel.
There is some initially, but I think they've had to overcome it because the look of it has been so good that if their clients want that look and they're pushing for it, and the designers have to get on board and accept that it's here to stay. And so we've seen that. And then we've got a lot of designers who are coming in and they're immediately seeing the benefits of it as well. And so for both of those reasons, we're so excited. I think there's so much opportunity in that department right now. So yeah, that part's exciting. And so yeah, the only hitch was kind of some of the installers, and they're getting on board with it as well. So
it's fun stuff.
It is fun
more
stuff.
Opportunity for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. So I know you described what keeps you coming back to the show, but what do you have ahead for you? This is day one of the show. Any big plans? Is it just nonstop craziness for you from here?
Yeah, well, if you saw my schedule, you'd laugh at it. It's pretty much not even attainable. But
we got you here.
But I'm here.
15 minutes.
I know.
Yay.
Well, I've got my team that's still going,
Yes.
and they're covering the ground for me right now. Yeah, we just, I've learned over the years that I used to kind of book appointments and we'd have, one rep who would have 5 different suppliers and we'd go back and forth. And I don't do that anymore. Now I just kind of go up and down the aisles and hope that they're there and hopefully we get to meet with them, and almost always do. So we can be a lot more efficient getting through the show. So we kind of now will just strategize by area. So we'll start with Spain, and then we'll go to Italy, and then we'll go to the U.S. area.
It's a global experience.
It's a global experience. So we kind of have a day in each country and a little extra when we can fit it in. And it's, from the different countries, we're looking for different products. So we kind of know that Spain will specialize in more of the wall tiles and some of the different things that we would have been looking for, some of the encaustic looks and things like that. And Italy's going to do more of the porcelains and the leading edge in terms of looks and design. And then we've got the US market, which is just kind of our solid base that captures everything else for us. So combination of all of the above. So yeah, we're excited. I mean, awesome. You walk in every day, and that first day you walk in, it's just this, there is an excitement about being at this show. It's pretty unique place, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thanks again for carving time.
You're welcome, my pleasure.
In this crazy busy schedule to visit with us, and for the folks who are watching the live stream, so grateful for your time. And again, congratulations.
Thank you.
On the presidency. We're so excited for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Really, really appreciate it.
Thanks.